Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Hedonites of Slaanesh, and we're going to talk 5 things that we'd like to see, or I'd like to see, in the Tome Celestial. We know, thanks to the latest White Dwarf with the character and Overlord's Tome Celestial, we know that Slaanesh is coming next month. This is obviously leading to everyone pretty much believing and narrowing down that we've got those 2 books in the summer coming out that are either going to be Lumineth or Sylvaneth for the Order, or we are going to see Tzeentch or Skaven for the Chaos ones. People are leaning towards thinking Sylvaneth Skaven, though, is definitely the 2. But with that said, we are going to see a Hedonites one next, and I don't think an army needs as much of an update in a Tome Celestial as much as Hedonites do. We've got 5 different things I want to talk about. I don't think we're going to see all of these 5 things, but I'd like to see maybe a combination of 2 to 3 of these different things carried out across the army. There's probably one of them that probably will come in something like a General's Handbook instead, but I do think this is an army that could be fixed with some minor changes to a few rules across the army, some war scroll changes. We've seen with the Cadron Overlord's book that a war scroll change for a unit is now a thing that we can see inside these, with the Archnaut Admiral getting a war scroll change. We've seen terrain pieces changed, obviously, or with the Herdstone, and we've seen army rules get additions or get changed in the case of some as well. So I think there's a lot of different things that can happen now in Tome Celestials. There's definitely no sort of way to determine what we're going to get with a Tome Celestial. Some get battalions, some get less battalions, some get grand strategies and battle tactics, some got mount traits, some got artifacts, some got just additions in other ways. There's a lot of different things we can see. And so in this, we're going to talk 5 different things I'd like to see in the Tome Celestial, and I'd be happy if we get, like I said, 2 to 3 of these. Even 1 would be great. With that said, let's get cracking on into the list, and let's get started. And so, number 1, points and summoning changes. I think this is probably the question I was talking about, and the thing I'd like answered that's probably going to happen in the GHB rather than in a Tome Celestial, though part of this could happen in a Tome Celestial, and part of this could happen with a GHB, or indeed just an FAQ update. It's no surprise to anyone that Slaanesh definitely do seem a little bit overcosted in points, and I think if we are going to cheapen the army up, we definitely need to throw the summoning maybe in the other direction. I don't think you have it both ways, because that leads to certain problems of then, having more units to generate more depravity more quickly, and depravity is generally generated pretty quickly already in its current form. So I think upping the cost of all the summoning, but dropping the cost of all the initial points on the board will allow you to start with more on the table, have more to survive on the table, and need to rely less on the summoning. I really don't know why Slaanesh is becoming the summoning army. It really doesn't sort of fit the feel with me. I think we should have a bunch of glass cannon style units in Slaanesh, and it's nice to be able to replace them with obviously your summoning and stuff like that, but I think we should start with more Slaanesh stuff on the table. Definitely drop the points, especially on a ton of the mortal units and some of the larger pieces like the Keeper of Secrets. They all sort of need their points changed around a little bit, and like I said, you probably need to up the summoning if you are going to drop the points somewhat to sort of balance this out, because you will have obviously problems arise from just dropping points and not upping summoning costs as well. There will definitely be issues that arise from that of too much summoning coming out of a Slaanesh army. Number 2, Euphoric Kills. Now, Euphoric Kills is the ability where the Slaanesh get in melee. If they attack only 6s to hit, generate an extra hit. We get exploding 6s in combat, and if you have 20 or more models in a unit, it goes off on a 5. Now, this was written back when units could be larger and you could get more models in combat, before reinforcement points were a thing, before coherency was a thing, and it worked back then. I definitely think a change to Euphoric Killers needs to be dropping it down to 10 models, and honestly, I would let it apply to the Slaanesh shooting as well. They've not got an awful lot of shooting in Slaanesh. You've got very limited mortal wound shooting, which applies on the wound roll anyway, in the form of your Blissbarb Seekers. I don't think it would be a problem. There's definitely no, way to really abuse it with any of your shooting. You're getting 6 to hit, generate an extra hit. You would still need to roll them, meaning you would still need to roll to try and get those 6 to wound to do mortal wounds. I think there's a lot having to ride on that to be able to, really push into it. I think it would be a solid change, allowing to work on shooting, allowing it to be 10 plus models to get the 5-ups would definitely change how this rule would work, and definitely make it a much more effective thing across a lot of different things inside the army. I really do think that's probably the way this rule needs to go. And 3, the Locus of Diversion. Now, the Locus Diversion got changed in its current iteration from the old you couldn't attack till last to stopping enemy units piling in. Currently, it works on a 4-up and you get +1 if it is on a greater demon using it. I think we could change this to be a better ability. Slaanesh stopping units piling in would not be as negative thing as it once was. It's definitely not as powerful. You've got a lot of 2-inch range, you've got a long reach on a bunch of units, and this only works on demon heroes. I think we could definitely put everyone on a 3-up and potentially even make greater demons do it on a 2-up. This would allow an army that is a glass cannon to get in some hits. Like, you don't need your whole unit of any good combat unit to fight back against a unit of demonettes or a keeper of secrets to do a decent amount of damage to that model. They are not tough. And so I think you could definitely make the Locus of Diversion work better to stop more models getting in, to maybe stop seeing your bigger models or units with your greater demons around them, potentially not being taken off in a single swing back by your opponent. This could be a different way to really help and push the army in a different direction. Not needing to rely on it summoning as much, which means we can change how that works to stop them being the summoning army, which for me, once again, just doesn't make sense with Slaanesh. I think like a Diversion on a 3+ for everyone, and potentially even a 2+ for your grade demons, is definitely a solid way for it to work. Number 4, the Keeper of Secrets. Now, for me, this definitely needs a change. Slaanesh are an army that's just paid for the sins of the past. When their previous book came out, I should say, the army was definitely a little bit aggressive and really had some big issues in the meta at the time, and the game as a whole. However, in their current book, they got dialed back so hard, it's not funny. Just with a ton of nerfs across the whole army, and something they've continued to get. I really don't think Slaanesh need any more. In fact, at the moment, we definitely need to send the army in the other direction. For me, the Keeper of Secrets is one of these models that definitely is paying for the sins of its past. It used to be able to use its command ability on itself to attack twice, and it could do this twice in a row because you would generally be fighting last. With the change to how that rule works now, and it stops your opponent piling in, I don't think it needs to be stopped from double piling in on itself anymore, because your opponent would not be, taken out of the order. You would attack, your opponent would attack back, and then you could attack with your keeper again, if your keeper is still alive. Like I said, they're glass cannons, so they can potentially die, and if it fails that Locus of Diversion allows its opponent to pile in on it, it's probably not getting a second attack anyway. So I think allowing the keeper to use its command ability on itself is just a simple change to make the Keeper of Secrets a better model. Number 5, change the Fane of Slaanesh's bonus. Now, the Fane of Slaanesh has a cool ability where you can discard some of your stuff on it, effectively prick your heroes, and you get +1 to hit for the rest of the game. However, I think this could definitely be changed. We no longer need +1 to hit as an ability. You can get easy access to that across the game thanks to all-out attack. I'd much rather see this ability potentially do something nicer, potentially even +1 to wound, or potentially going to +1 attack on all your profiles could be an interesting one as well. I think both of these are definitely ways we can increase the Fane of Slaanesh's ability to really give it something different. +1 to hit, like I said, just isn't special anymore. It's got easy access to the army, and Slaanesh do get a decent amount of CP, and they don't need all of them. You're generally just trying to double attack with things around your keeper, or potentially, if we get our way with the changes, trying to double attack with the keeper. So I think having the Fane of Slaanesh to potentially give +1 to something else could be an interesting change to the model. With that said, though, that is all our 5 suggestions for changing Slaanesh and the things we'd like to see in the Tome Celestial for the Hedonites of Slaanesh. Let us know what you would like to see down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either via Patreon or YouTube members, and both of those are linked again down in the video's description. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, I'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a special shout out to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, the Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Ariana Airwoods, and Sean Scott. Lastly, a special thanks, first of all, to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for our channel, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing Discord server background work for us. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.